Recording live from my headhunting stronghold in Annapolis, Maryland, and beyond. This is the Recruiter Roundtable Season 2. Every episode is an open discussion for recruiters, headhunters, and talent pros, so feel free to participate or just sit back and listen as we bring you topics, discussing tips, tricks, and more for both industry dinosaurs and noobs alike. Please like and subscribe. And now let's start with the Recruiter Roundtable Season 2, AI with TypingMind, Merlin, Slider, and a lot more. Hey, everybody, welcome. So I know we've done a lot of AI, large language models, all types of meetings the last couple a year or so, but everything changes, man. It keeps getting crazier and crazier and crazier. So I figured I'd do another one just because I really got excited about TypingMind. And then there are a bunch of browser extensions that kind of like sit on top of your computer. That's what Merlin, MaxAI, and Cider are. So I thought we discussed them. And then everybody knows what Perplexity is and kind of like talk about that because me, Dominic, and Tony got Perplexity for what, $30 for the year, right? Found some good deals, and that's kind of where I am. I'm always looking for the deal. And you know, Marikar, who was talking before we started streaming, was talking about how she finally bought the Chat GPT full $20 a month that they say to get, so you can use all this great stuff. And that's kind of why I wanted to jump on to the first thing we did was with TypingMind. Because TypingMind allows you to have access to all the large language models as a pay-as-you-go feature, right? So if you were to get Claude, if you were to get Gemini, and you were to get ChatGPT, right? That's $20, $40, $60 a month to have all three of those. I have TypingMind, and I have access to all three of those with an API key. And I was just telling Tony before the meeting started, I just finally added another $10 to my OpenAI account. So I've spent, in 52 days, I've spent $10 on ChatGPT, and I use it every day and twice on Sunday. Like it is part of every single day I use it for something. And then Claude and Gemini still haven't had to pay a penny. Like I gave $10 each one of them. I think I have like 7 left on Claude and 8 left on Gemini, right? So if you want access to all three large language models and do pretty much everything you can on their platform, you can do that on TypingMind, and that's what we're going to show today. I'm going to spend about 20 minutes on that, going over, you know, the positives and negatives, you know, yada yada yada, and then from there we'll go into the browser extensions and then end it with Perplexity. Have any questions? Feel free to jump in and ask. You know how I am. I talk too much. I talk too fast. So if you want me to stop and do anything, let me know. But we're going to jump into TypingMind first and kind of go from there. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Dominic in first, and then share my screen. Okay, manage screen. Where am I? And I got a cold guy, so deal with me. Let's see. Share screen. Share screen. Share screen. So I'll share the entire screen, and then I want to share this screen with you guys on it, so I can go to TypingMind. There we go. So can we all see my screen?
Yep.
TypingMind. Okay, so this is TypingMind, and if you notice, it's kind of similar to what you would have like if you're using ChatGPT, right? So it's, you know, just basically a spot. But what they do, these are called agents. So in ChatGPT, you have GPTs, and in Gemini, Google, you have gems, and those are things you can put in your own prompt in, right, and save it forever and kind of really mess with it and make it really good and work for you. So these are the ones that I use like on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. They all revolve around recruiting, and these were ones that I built as GPTs and just transferred them into TypingMind. And if you guys get TypingMind, you could actually share these, you know, across with your friends and colleagues and whatnot. But to kind of get you the main features of TypingMind is that I really, really like is the models, right? So I have access to all the Geminis, all the Claudes, even ChatGPT 01, all the GPT-4s, the Gemini Flashes, as you can see, everything. And I've actually even added Gronk, Llama via Gronk as a fourth large language model to kind of mess with. A friend of mine showed me how to do it, and I added him. But in general, you're going to be working off of, when you do a new chat, you choose right here which model you want to use. Do you want to use Gemini? Do you want to use Claude? Do you want to use ChatGPT? And then you could also test, like, for example, this recruiting assistant, right? So if I ask it to write a job description for a, let's see, somebody give me a job Anyone? Bueller? Okay, fine. So structural engineer,
Yes. Chief bottle washer. Okay.
senior. And the other thing I like is it doesn't matter that it's going to ask me key responsibilities, must-have skills. Okay, this is no. So there you go. And then you could take this, right, and say, okay, I wonder what this is on GP4, right? So once it's done, I can say, I wonder what Claude's going to do. So you could take it to here and hit regenerate, and Claude's going to do the same thing. And then you could compare the two to one another to see which works best for you. And you can do that with all your agents, right? So in how you set this up is like, here's your API keys, right? So I have an API key for OpenAI. I have an API key for Anthropic, that's Claude, and I have an API key for Google Gemini. Now these are free, right? Getting an API key is free. What costs money is to use it and on platforms like this, right? So to give you an example of cost, on OpenAI, ChatGPT 4.0 is $5 per million tokens. And a million tokens is basically a million words back and forth, right? So when you type out and hit enter, however many words that is, that's however many tokens it is. And whatever it replies with, that's how many tokens that are. So that's how they charge you. A million tokens is $5. And that's, I think, the newest ChatGPT is a little more expensive. And then when you start getting into stuff like Whisper, which transcribes audio into text, it's a little more expensive. But for basically what we use, you're looking anywhere from $5 to $1 per million tokens, depending on which large language model you're using and how advanced it is. Meaning, is it 4.0 or is it 3? So far, so good. Are we all on point so far? Any questions?
To sign up for TypingMind, how much does it cost?
Okay, so you have to get a license key for TypingMind. It's a one-time, it's like AppSumo, right? It's a one-time buy it, right? So buy or upgrade license, right? So I can buy another. So standard. This could, for most people, this works. It doesn't do images, right? And you don't get the free updates. But if you just want basic ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini, or just like Kelly, she's just using ChatGPT. You don't have to use all three. So Kelly's just using ChatGPT. So you can buy standard. If you want image generation, text-to-speech, and stuff like that, you buy the extended. Or like I did, I bought the premium just because I got everything. And here's a really cool thing too. So for those of you out there that have a couple people on your team, no matter which one of these you buy, 5 people can use it. So I've shared my licensing key with Kelly, Dominic, and Ernie. And they're using whatever my licensing key is. I don't even know if Dominic's using it or not. I'm pretty sure Ernie's not. But if you go to use it, all you got to do is put in your own API key. So for those of you out there going, man, $89 is a lot, you can split it 4 or 5 ways if you want, right? Free, you can get together, each pitch in $30, and boom, you have 3 keys. The problem, but remember, you only get 5. So if you share it with someone, they share it with someone, boom, you're done. So any of these you can just use with 5 people or 5 IP addresses or 5 computers. It doesn't matter. But like I said, I give it to Kelly. I know Kelly's using it. Dominic might be using it. I think Dominic set somebody up on one. So yeah, that's the cool thing about this. It's one-time price, $90, and you 5 people can use it.
It's actually a good deal.
And then from there, you can start fixing all the little things inside, right? Like the agents, right? You can build your agents and keep them here, and then put the agents on the front of the page where you want them, right? So that's what I do. These are the ones that I use the most. They're always right there for me. There's also a thing called plugin, and I think Kale can talk a little bit about this because he's putting together, he bought this for his team, and there's a Google Calendar plugin, and I haven't figured out how to use it, but it looks like it could be really good where TypingMind interacts with your Google Calendar. So I have Stable Diffusion. I have a version 2 and 3. I have that plugin. I have an image search plugin. I have Perplexity search. We'll talk about that later because I got an API for Perplexity. And then I added this simple calculator somebody met, Dale 3 for images, web search, so I can search on the web, right? So this particular thing will run down here when I do a search for, let's say, steel. If I have it turned on, you'll have Google things will pop up right here. and ask me if I want to search Google for it. I don't have it turned on right now, but that's how you can use it to search the web once you did a search, or you needed more information. It'll take you right to the search. Another really cool thing they just added, and I'll show you kind of like with, let's see, let's do, I'll do it with this one, right? So a lot of times what I do, and I'll go to one, I'll show you. So I'm doing a search for an architectural sales rep, and I interviewed her last night, and then I dropped the text. This is the text of our phone call. Okay, and I dropped the text of my phone call, and it put it into the interview summary. And then I'll need to fix it. Like, for example, I said change candidate to Brooke, and change under qualifications, add that she had her Bachelor's of Human Sciences from Texas Tech. She didn't mention that in the interview. But what you can also do is edit in Canvas, right? So once you got it open, you click this button right here, and then it opens it up over here, almost like a Word document, and you can take and rewrite this. You can in their current role, right? So I can ask it to disable this. So hit rewrite, and then it'll rewrite it for you. You could ask it to take this, right, and say make it friendlier. Right? You could ask it to do anything. So, and then once this is done, a lot of people have issues when you click this copy right here inside of even ChatGPT does it. It gives you that markdown language, right? So it kind of looks like this with all these things, and it doesn't format well if you're sticking it into a Word document, right? But with over here in this, you can just copy paste all of this into the interview notes or wherever you want it to go. You can edit raw, and then you can copy markdown, copy formatted text. Like if I do the copy formatted text, it's this stuff. If I click markdown, it would be what I showed you before with the pound signs and all that. So this makes it a little easier. This is something new that they just added, the Canva thing, and that's their. Here's the stuff I was talking about. See right here. So I do have it turned on. Sorry. So from this, I could click any of these to help me with whatever search I'm doing. This is how TypingMind allows you to get onto the internet via one of your searches, and that's what's kind of cool about the plugins. People keep adding plugins. And if you subscribe to the TypingMind Discord, you'll start seeing all the new stuff that they're bringing in, and then you can add it to TypingMind, which makes it, in my opinion, that's what I think makes it a little better than the cost aside, ChatGPT or Claude or whatever. You have access to a community of people who are trying to make this better.
Is there a cost for the plugins, or are they just free?
I'm sorry, one more time.
Is there a cost for the plugins?
Nope. Now, in some of the plugins, you have to have an API that could cost you pennies, but that's to be the extent of it, right? Like this particular the one that I'm showing right here, this thing here runs off of. Ernie, help me out on this. CSS, the Google custom search engine. If anybody knows, it's right here. So if anybody knows what the Google custom search engine is, it's something that like Brian Fink has done. But this is something that you can go to actual get rid of all this stuff right here, and just go to Google's custom search engines. And I made one for TypingMind, right? So it's this one right here, this ADF. So I made this because that was the way that you enable the web search. You need a Google custom search engine API to run that. That's where, okay, so this is where TypingMind could be a disadvantage. It takes a little bit of learning and a little bit of tech knowledge. There's no programming needed, but you have to understand what the API keys, you have to understand what certain terms mean to get some of the more advanced stuff set up. If you're just trying to use TypingMind like I use ChatGPT or when people use ChatGPT, it's really easy. But when you start integrating the plugins, some of the agents, the additional models, it can get a little daunting. And as I say, I'm always here to help, right? So if you ever need help setting up something like this, just let me know. I helped Kelly set up hers. It's relatively simple, and that goes to that whole jack of AI, master of none that I've got. The biggest drawback I've seen so far is if you are using the links that ChatGPT can generate. Like sometimes, I don't know how many people here have done like, hey, turn this into an Excel spreadsheet with name, they'll make a big list from like, say, a directory. You throw it into ChatGPT and you say, turn this into an Excel spreadsheet with first name, last name, title, email address, and current company. And they'll do that, and then they'll give you an Excel spreadsheet link you can download on ChatGPT. I haven't figured out how to get that to work on TypingMind. It says that, like I'll do all that, and it'll say, here's a link, and then I can never figure out where the link is. So that is the biggest issue I've stumbled on so far as a disadvantage. Other than that, the other disadvantage would be if you don't have, like Trish Tampkin, she shares a lot of her GPTs with people. She doesn't have agents, right? So she can't share the GPTs with you here. If you want to use hers, you have to use them on ChatGPT unless you can get her to make you an agent that you can use here. That's another disadvantage. You know, if you have GPTs you made yourself, very easy to turn them into agents in TypingMind. But if there's one that someone gave you that you use a lot, unless they're willing to help you build it as an agent or build an agent for you, you won't be able to use it in TypingMind. They also has a sidebar a Chrome extension for TypingMind. Let me see which one it is. This it? Yeah. When you're on any other website, like if you're on, let's see if I'm on, let's see, Facebook, I guess we could try it there, see if it does anything. You can do stuff like right here. If you wanted to, like, I don't know, comment on this, you could write your comment, drop it in here and say, improve this comment, and then drop it over here. It's not a great sidebar feature, but it is there for you if you need it. Like if you're working on, I don't know, maybe it's a big PDF and you want it to summarize some stuff or find stuff or say stuff for you, it works. It's a free Chrome extension. I have not found any really great uses for it, but I'm sure it has its benefits down the road, and it may get better, hopefully, like some of the other ones we're going to talk about next. Excuse me.
When you have a regular Chat GPT, and I have that, and then you have this model you're talking about, if I create a program to share with you within my Chat GPT, can you still see it on yours?
I'm sorry, Ernie, can you kind of clarify what you're talking about? I don't know what you mean. You're talking about the GPTs that you make?
Yeah, that I make it, saying I make it in my Chat GPT, and I allow you to see it and share it.
You can invite people to your GPT once you make it.
Yeah, no. What I'm getting at is we'll make it allow you to look at it while you look at the Chat GPT.
I don't know the answer to that question. I don't.
Okay.
I don't know if they talk together that way or not. That's a good question. I don't know if that is something that would work. I don't. Be interesting to see down the road, but sharing GPT wise, you have to be able to extract what's in your GPT to share it with me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I share a link. I'll share a link with you that.
Oh, that might, yeah, then that would probably work.
Yeah. Okay.
Does anybody else have any questions before we switch over to the browser extension?
Yeah, real quick on this because I got to jump off for a call, but just a couple of things to add. If you have a GPT that you've created in Chat GPT, you can ask it what are the prompts that were used to create this GPT, and then you can copy and paste those into an agent in TypingMind. It won't be perfect because it doesn't do like the tone and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you can do the tones. So
can you?
Yeah, so like here on this AI accountant, right? See, I can all this stuff over here.
Okay.
There's all the stuff you can do with it. You can actually, the system instructions, you can do all types of things. You also can set tones in the settings section of the models, right? So here, I think it's here. Yeah, see, you can set the temperature on each one.
Oh, perfect.
Right? You can, if you're using Claude or whatever, you can turn off ones you don't want to use if they're too expensive or whatever. You can do that as well.
Yeah. So on that note, if you go back to one of the conversations you've had, it doesn't matter which one, just pick one. Yeah, go to your chat, just pick one that you've used there on the left-hand side.
Okay.
See a little eye at the top right corner. If you click on that, you can actually set this up to tell you what each individual chat is costing you in real time. It's not
Oh, there you
perfect,
go. Yep.
but it's
23
not
cents.
perfect. Yep. So you can actually, it will actually display that as you go if you want to see that. So I
this
was
whole
just
thing-
redoing my website using TypingMind. I think I spent $20 instead of like $5,000 with a programmer.
Oh, wow.
It's been an amazing process. I've really done a lot.
This
So
cost me 3 cents.
Craig, are you on
6,000
WordPress or?
no, I'm doing a self-hosting thing.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Anything
Craig,
else,
are you
Craig?
using SiteGround?
I'm sorry.
Using SiteGround?
Nope. Using just basic HTML and CSS. I'm using Tailwind CSS. I'm doing all of that in VS Code.
And you're
But
just
it would
asking it.
Yeah, like I said, here's a sample website that I really like. Replicate this in HTML and do the CSS using Tailwind's version, whatever the current version is, and it spit out everything. It just gave me the entire CSS and the code.
Wow.
It was awesome. I mean, you can, and of course, you tweak as you go.
Yeah.
But
Because you just take like whatever picture that was in before, you just swap your picture out, and instead of John Smith, you put in Craig Saunders, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's been really awesome.
That's
Really
amazing.
awesome.
I didn't even think to use it for that, because when I was redoing my website before I got the IT guy I got, I would just go into the WordPress site and it would show me like what a page looked like that I wanted to replicate. I would just copy the entire HTML, drop it in, and pull out Tom Alashio, put in Tony Alci, right? Pull out the picture, put it, and then take that and paste it into the new picture. It was so time consuming. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's you have to have a little bit of coding knowledge, a little bit, but you don't have to. I'm not a coder, but I know enough to make myself dangerous. So,
anybody else questions
All right.
before we switch?
All right, I'll be right back, guys. I got a call.
Tom,
Yeah.
real quick. Did you say you could add Perplexity in here? I didn't even hear you
Yes,
on-
yeah. So I have Perplexity added into this.
Where do you
And I'll
put
show
it?
you that right here. So right here, Perplexity search, right? So I got a Perplexity API key, and I can use Perplexity now inside of TypingMind. You do it using Perplexity search, whatever. Using, because it works on Llama 3.1 Sonar. You just say use this, but you have to say, just like I have a weather plugin, you have to say, find me the weather in Annapolis, Maryland, and then the weather plugin will find me the weather.
Gotcha.
And on pricing, if you want to share between your teammates and stuff, they have a custom. It's called TypingMind Custom, and it's between $100 and $200 a month. So that way you don't have to have each member copy and paste in API keys and stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, the team one's a little more expensive, but yeah, and you could also correct me if I'm wrong, Kale. You could also limit how much each person spends per month as well. You can put limits on spending.
Yeah, I mean, it's like full admin control. Where if you're buying the lifetime license,
Yeah.
it's a nightmare to administer.
Okay.
I tried, and I'm
Okay.
like, give me my money back. I'll pay you the $150.
$150 a month. Okay. Okay.
Because
So,
I'm like,
is there
if
any-
it saves one of my team members 4 hours, it's paid for itself, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, Tom, I just posted a Google CSE, a link to Google CSE for staffing that I have.
Okay, so hold on, I got to get to, because I got, you guys are at here. Hold on, let me see. Okay, so what did you do?
I posted in chat a link to a Google CSE for staffing, custom search engine for staffing.
Okay, custom search. Okay, let me go to the chat. Okay, so what is? Okay, yeah. So what? Yeah. Okay, so what do you want to do with that?
I'm just giving it to you guys because it works. Good.
Oh, okay. Okay, so is that?
I'm sharing.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, so that's that's the same thing I was talking about. To use TypingMind's the web search, you need to see and you might be able to use that. I'd be interesting to see if you put that in there how it would work.
Yeah.
And also, hey guys, if you have Sales Navigator and don't have a have never had a Perplexity account, keep an eye out. Sales Navigator was giving Perplexity away for free for a year. I had already had a Perplexity account and couldn't get it. So make sure you check your emails you get from Sales Navigator every now and then, because I missed out on that. And Dominic just posted he got a code for $40 for the year. I think it's the same code to him that we got, which gives you Perplexity for a year, which is a really good deal.
But I already bought it a year, so it's not working. So if anyone wants to buy it off me, there's a $40 code that you don't have to buy.
And then, okay, so we're going to go now. Are there any more questions on, I think there was someone else.
Yeah, Tom.
Yeah, Bill,
Tom?
go ahead.
Yeah, just real quick. What's the biggest incremental change that you're seeing in using a tool like this? It seems like all of it, the rest of us, I have a Claude, incidents open. I have a ChatGPT. I have a Perplexity. This kind of puts it all in one place, and I don't see a lot of huge incremental. I don't know. I'm just trying to, in my mind, see what the difference is, because I could emulate that right now by what I'm doing, by what we all have kind of been doing for a while.
Well, so it's the cost. The key thing would be the cost, right? You're paying $20, $40, $60 a month for Claude, for Gemini, for ChatGPT, and I'm paying $10 for 50 days using ChatGPT, doing the same exact stuff. So that would be the first thing. The second thing would be able to use, if you're building your own GPTs, you build them as agents and then compare them against Claude, against Gemini, and against ChatGPT to see which one works the best. And then which large language model works the best for you. Claude does certain things better than ChatGPT and vice versa. So it allows you to have access to all the large language models at a significantly lower cost. To me, that was the biggest game changer, in my opinion, was I have access to all the large language models. Everything you guys can do on, if you're paying $20 for Claude or 20 for Gem or 20 for Chat, I can do all of that on here for a significantly lower price. And then I start discovering the plugins, like with the Google search, with the Perplexity, right? And then some other ideas that are starting to pop up in the Discord. So that's the game changer for me, right? Okay. Is that all that stuff combined at a significantly lower price. Does that make sense?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because you were doing the same way everybody. I'm doing it right now, right? I have a GPT window open. I have a Perplexity. I have a Claude window open. I have like 4 or 5 windows open. This allows you to kind of simplify that a little bit more. Correct?
Correct. Yeah. It's just everything's right here. At any time I want to do a chat, I click on new chat, right? And then I click which model I want to use. Mm-hmm. That's something needs to be done there, but I'll fix that later. And you can manage your models from here, what you want them to do, each model can talk differently at different temperature. Like if you really want to get down and dirty into it, you could add any custom. There's something like 3,000 custom large language models on GitHub. You could add all those in here if you wanted. I mean, for nerds who are really into this, you could do so much with this. Yep. Like that it goes way beyond my my purview or my grade or whatever. But yeah, you have to
get an API for GPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, correct? And then so in all cases, are you using a free account or a paid account with those tools?
So they're free, but you got to pay for usage, right? So this is it. Okay. So if I go to, here's my OpenAI account. Okay, here are my API keys, my TypingMind key and all that, right? And then this is my usage right here. Shows my usage for November. Shows my usage for October. It's loading. It shows the activity, like what I did, when I did it, And then let's see, usage, activity, cost. There's my cost, right? What I spent this one day, 70 cents. 20 cents, right? A penny. Right? It's showing me how much money I spent using GPT-4, using whatever. And you can do it by month. Like if I go back to October, I spent $9.95 the entire month of October. And this is all the stuff that I did. Go ahead, Steve.
So let me get this straight. If I was to buy like that premium one and I wanted to give access to it to like Bill McCabe, since we're in the same town, would that work?
Yeah. So you can give it to Bill, you could give it to Kale, and you could give it to Marikar. All they're going to get is your licensing key, this key right here. What they're going to have to do is get their own API keys. So they're not using your API keys for usage. They're using their own API keys for usage, but they are using your licensing key. It doesn't affect, like, Kelly can't see anything I'm doing. I can't see anything she's doing, but we're still using the same key.
Man, that's great. I wish I knew somebody or worked with somebody that had keys like that. That's interesting.
Are you suggesting we share keys,
extra?
Tom? Are you suggesting we buy it, share keys?
You don't have to, but you can. You absolutely can.
Okay.
So what's the downside of doing that? I mean, Bill and I have known each other for.
Well, like I said, the downside
years.
the downside is sharing the key. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Unless you might want it later, like to give it to one of your employees because you forgot about them.
And you're giving 5 of them?
Yeah, you get 5. 1 for you and 4 other ones.
Huh. Okay.
The idea is you use one on your phone, one on your browser.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't use mine on my phone.
And this is all part of like Netflix, like they gave everybody free licenses, 5 logins, and then as you get more sucked in, they're like, oh, it's actually going to be $8, and that's what they want per user. They want $8 per user. So Steve.
Yeah, what are you guys using? What are you using? I mean, I know I need to be recording my phone calls, with candidates, so instead of me taking notes, I can pay attention. Is there a tool that anyone is using?
Do you use Loxo?
No.
Okay. Do you have an iPhone?
I have an Android phone.
Oh.
You can use Fathom. Fathom is one.
Fathom or MetaView.
Does Copilot record calls?
I don't know that. MetaView does. Fathom does. That one that who's doing a demo? Tim, what are you doing a demo? Quill does too.
Copilot, you have to do it inside actually a Teams. You have to make your calls inside of Teams for Copilot to take notes on it.
Yeah,
so
Adam does it for free on all of them. So I've used that. It's pretty good, and you could use it for free and upgrade. So that
and I record all my calls now, and that's like you can see like if you look over here on my sidebar, I'll show you like let me see if see I got I'll use anytime like there's the clipboard text 36,000 characters, 9,000 tokens. This was an interview summary of a metal guy that I was interviewing.
Okay, so that is a summary of a verbal conversation.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, what you have to do though, you have to convert the audio to text, and I use ChatScribe Pro does that for free. I bought that off AppSumo. That's what I use right now is ChatScribe Pro. I'll show you that right here. So basically, what it is you take and drop the audio into here, and it'll transcribe it for you, right? So these are all the recordings that I've had transcribed. Like, so this one, Emily, that I talked to, yesterday or a couple days ago, this is the entire conversation transcribed. And you can see it in a transcript, in a formatted text. You can remove the timestamp and the speakers. You just hit copy, right? And then I drop it in the TypingMind here under using this agent. Meeting transcription, testing for interviews, and then I just drop it in here, and then I let it run. And then I'll either use I'll look at I'll read it real quick and see if it misspelled anything or said the names wrong, and then I'll ask ChatGPT to fix it, or I'll open it up in Canva or Canvas and manipulate it the way I want to. And then I drop it into.
You could even tell it to do a candidate write-up summary for this job to this client name, and it'll actually do that for you too.
Yep. And then let me see. And then I'll make it into something like this using a Word doc that I'll send to the client.
Yeah.
But I like what you said. I should probably start thinking about maybe, asking it. Yeah, this is the job they're applying for. This is the client, and would probably make it even better. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, just you can tell a tonality, everything, and you can say bullet points, more paragraphs, or whatever, and it'll. I do that all the time. Done it this morning. So
yeah, the clients love this. The clients love this, man. My clients love the interview summaries I've been sending them. They can't get over how.
I like that you're putting it into a Word doc. It makes it a little bit more formal. I just pop it into an email. It's quicker. But
I also attach it to their candidate card in my ATS, so it's always there as well.
Yeah, I like that. I like how you transcribed your. So you don't have to type anything. You transcribe your interview into here, and then it formats it, and then you can then take that and do a write up. So you're not actually typing anything.
All I'm typing is anything I need to fix at the very end.
Right.
And I'll give you an example. Last night I was cleaning horse stalls at our barn. My wife was sick, and a candidate called me for an interview, and I said, "Hey, do you mind if I record this conversation? I'm working out in the field right now." I said, "Yeah, no problem." I took that entire interview while I was shoveling horse shit. Right? Answered all the questions that was important. It recorded the entire conversation, then transcribe it for you. So I took that entire text, dropped it in here, got the interview notes, sent it to the client, and got an interview set for Monday. Right? So the recording of the phone call and then transcribing into text is the biggest game changer that's happened to me in the 27 years I've been recruiting.
So yeah, I'd like to know what is that one that you took for taking the voice and putting it into text? What were you using?
ChatScribe Pro on AppSumo. It's $49 lifetime deal. ChatScribe Pro.
ChatScribe Pro. All right, I'm gonna take note of that.
And also all the other ones, Fathom, Otter, they give you a free version that they'll do a couple 100 minutes every month for free as well. Right? So depending on how many you're doing, you might be able to get, and if you're a Slack premium user, Slack does it for free too. If you're a Slack premium user, they will transcribe any audio or video into text. And it also, both of these work for audio and video, right? So if it's a Teams interview or a Google Meet, this thing, I could take this entire video, drop it into ChatScribe Pro, and it'll transcribe the entire fucking interview.
So when you did that on your phone, when you were shoveling shit,
right?
Did you do that interview via a Teams or Zoom call?
That was a phone call. It was a phone call.
Or the regular phone call.
Yep.
That's the interesting part, is the regular phone call.
Yeah. So I've done it on my iPhone or on my office phone with Loxo. I've done it on Teams. I've done it on Google Meet.
So you just how do you record it on your phone?
On the iPhone, there's, when you start a phone call on iPhone, at the very top left, there's like a little emblem or something. You hit that and it records the phone call.
Ah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's the newest. And if you ask it to, it'll transcribe it into text as well.
And
I think it's only on the latest version, isn't it, Tom? Isn't there? I mean, there's like a 18 dot whatever, and then if you have 3 or 4 iPhones back,
it might not be released to the public yet. I'm on the beta. It might be in beta still.
I don't know that.
It's not in beta. It's the newest update I just did it per Dominic's recommendation. It's awesome. So just update
So it's on 18.11.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so 18.11 is the most recent iOS. 18.11 is the most recent public operating system upgrade, and it's on there then. And when you dial them, my phone is my camera, and I can't show you. But when you dial the phone number, and as soon as they answer, that emblem becomes at the very top left. You just touch that, and then you'll hear a voice that go, "This call will be recorded," and then it records the whole phone call.
That's awesome.
Can you do that on Android?
No.
I'm sure you can.
There's probably an app. There's probably an app.
Voice, you could do it.
Yeah, Google Voice has the option. It's the
Google
same.
Voice has the option. You hit 4, but you can only do it on incoming calls. You can't do it on outgoing calls, I think.
The Google Voice app has the same. It has a little record button if you're using the Google Voice app.
Okay. Okay. So, any more TypingMind questions before we jump to the browsers, because we ran over time?
And just on note taking, if you're on Loxo, Hone It integrates with Loxo. So
does Quill.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's enough for TypingMind. Now, the other
And
ones I wanted to talk about.
Tom, before
What?
you get off TypingMind, you can do this with other ones as well, but you can upload your own knowledge base as well, right? So
Correct.
you could potentially, if you have a training from a certain provider, right? That, and they've got their sales methodology, you could upload that whole PDF. You get Claude or anything like that to interpret it. And then after you finish a sales call with somebody, you could put that sales call transcript and it would give you the prompts from that sales pitch.
Correct.
So we've got our 3 uniques. I'm going to have my team. So I've done a custom agent. That's a sales agent. It's not a
I saw
recruitment
that. Yeah,
agent.
I'm interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah, and then at the end of every call with a prospect, we'll be able to put in our custom stuff. We'll be able to put in YouTube videos. So the idea is like we're really going to up the game rather than just our freestyle recruitment.
There was there's a way also, and again, we're getting into deep dive stuff here, but where you can take all of your emails that you've written over the last year and put it in there and say, this is how I write. I want you to write all emails like this from now on, right? You can have it talk like you misspell like I misspell, use bad grammar like if I do. You can create the GPT to be you, right? Or the agent to be you, or the large language model to be you if you put all that information in. There is so much you can do with it in a deep dive that I could spend another half an hour in that. I mean, I have a prompt that I'm working on that does all those and I wish Huff was here, those like indicators, right? It'll listen to the interview and then tell you the indicators of these certain metrics that they look for in sales guys, right? There's so much you can do with it. It really can get overwhelming, and then you say to yourself, how often am I going to use this? You got to be careful, because it's like, how often am I going to use this one particular GPT that I spent a month trying to develop? So don't get too caught up in that. You'll get, weapons of mass distraction, we used to call them. Okay, so now we're done TypingMind. There are 3 what I call like browser Chrome extensions that sit right on top of your browser, whether you're using Chrome, any Chromium-based browser, and you can interact using them daily in a lot of different ways. So MaxAI is the one I used for a while, and it is it sits here. It'll summarize a page, and if you click on the MaxAI extension on the side, it pops up right here, right? So I can do all different types of stuff with the web page from here. And see, it'll summarize the web page. You can chat about the web page, and then once it writes something, you can rewrite it, right? So all of them kind of work like this. And again, you can pick the different models you're going to work with, right? This is MaxAI, and then we have Merlin, right? So this is Merlin's. It opens up, so you could chat with documents that you're on a web page. You can chat with the web page. You can generate images. You can use it to reply to comments in, like, say, a Facebook group. And the same thing goes with Cider. Cider, again, theirs is right here, and it jumps up. How do you want to use Cider? And if you see, like, let's go to Wikipedia, is always a good one to test stuff on, right? So let's find something exciting on Wikipedia. Let's see, like World War II, right? So you can chat with this now, right? I can summarize this article with, take all this and say, hey, summarize this. And it'll zap through. This might be too big, but here's a summary of this entire Wikipedia page. Just really quick using this. This will also summarize YouTube videos for you. Like if you're watching a YouTube video and you want to see a summary about that. And all 3 of them work the same way. Some of them will do this, where I do this, and like right there, see this? Explain this, translate this, right? You can use these daily, interactively on all different types of web pages. It makes life a little easier, especially if you're researching something, or you've got a document that someone wants you to read, or like you're doing some sourcing on this big directory. It'll help you navigate through the directory. They're just neat little Chrome extensions that'll make your life a little easier on the web pages. And right now, MaxAI had a really good deal. No, not MaxAI. Merlin had a really good deal. I got it. I'll see if I can find it. I'll share it with you guys. It was like it's $5 a month forever. I've had to pay $60 for the year, but now it's $5 a month for this, and it's usually 20. So that's why I ended up buying it. And then all their tools are over here. There's all these extra tools that they have on their main page that I can use. Very similar to kind of like Chat Perplexity or TypingMind. You can jump into here, and all these different tools are available when you're on their page. And MaxAI kind of has the same thing, right? So close this out, close this out. So this is the MaxAI is a Chrome extension, but I think they have a page similar to Merlin's, where you can do all those same things, get the same agent. And Cider I don't think does, right? So Cider I've been messing around with. I just started using it. I have the free version, but again, they have access to all these different models. And it'll read, it'll write, it'll chat, it'll integrate images. You can drop in images and say, where can I find this image, or show me similar images, or whatever thing. So they're really neat things to have sitting on your sidebar for your daily, there just to help you. How often do you have to kind of figure out how do I transcribe this, or how do I what does this mean, or summarize this big giant article for me? Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, I just was curious. Which one do you use the most, and talk about which ones you have paid versions versus free versions?
I have the paid version of Merlin right now. I had the paid version of MaxAI up until I got TypingMind, and I have not paid for Cider yet. So far, Merlin's not bad. I sent them a message because you're supposed to be able to have the pop-up happen in text boxes like on Reddit and Facebook, and it's not working. MaxAI did that all the time. MaxAI also sat on top of my mailbox. So when I would see right here, it'll summarize the email for me. So if I get a long email, I can have it summarize the email for me. Right? See it now, see, because I don't pay for it, right? That's why it's not doing it. And I could also have it reply right here. See, improve writing, fix spelling. This sits right on top. That's why I really liked MaxAI, because it did this stuff inside of your email boxes. And Merlin does this for the people using Gmail. Merlin does this on Gmail, but it doesn't do it in Outlook. So if you're looking for something to really help you with writing emails and responding to emails, they have instant replies, yes, no, sorry, joke, whatever. They have improve, fix, whatever. There's so much you can do with it. So right now, the only reason I got Merlin because it was $5, but MaxAI so far is better. And I'm thinking that Cider might be better too, but it doesn't jump into the boxes like Merlin does. But it does, if you highlight it, it'll pop up right here. See? So if I was like this particular, let me see if I can find an email that's worth, like right here. And so I could take this, right, and explain it, translate it, or whatever, but I could also summarize it with here, or give context to Merlin, right? So you can also use this thing. So if I give context to Merlin, right, I can then say, reply to this in Merlin. And it's going to say, thank you for sharing Tony Burns' 30 steps. And I could, then send it to Ernie saying thank you. Right. So this is how you can use these in your day-to-day to respond to the emails. And whatever one you think works best for you. I was cheap because I was paying for all the other stuff, is why I got Merlin. But if I was going to use one in a daily day-to-day, I would absolutely use MaxAI, just because it sits right inside my right here, right? It's right there for me. I don't even have to do anything. And also, it does it on LinkedIn too. So see right here, it'll pop up right there. See, quick compose, improve, right? If you type something, then you can do it. So MaxAI really does a great job inside of these boxes to make your life easier. But again, because you have this, if I write, hey everybody, come to the roundtable tomorrow at 4 p.m. We'll be doing a great session on bottle washing. right? So I could ask. I don't think it'll let me because I don't pay for it, but I could have it improve writing. Yes, it won't let me. But then since I don't pay, but I do have the other one, I can just do this.
Will it dictate in Outlook like that? Do you know
What I just did?
Yeah.
That was I'll show you. So improve. I did something.
I'm still ancient. I use classic Outlook still. I got to switch over to the browser.
Okay, so what I'm using, let me go to Outlook for a second. What I'm using to type, are you talking about the text to speech?
Yeah.
I have a Mac, so I can text to speech anywhere.
Oh, wow.
The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plane. Right?
I'm
I
jealous.
can text to speech anywhere I want. Because of the way the Mac is. I have the Mac text to speech on.
Mm.
And all I do is I click the right control button twice, and you'll see that little blue thing pops up, and then it starts listening to everything I'm talking about. And it'll put in periods and exclamation points, and it'll make paragraph changes. It'll capitalize stuff and see it just listen to everything I'm saying right now. And then I hit control twice, and it turns it off.
I got to go get myself a Mac then.
Buy a Mac.
Hey, Tom.
So questions about the sidebar stuff. Go ahead.
Let me ask you one other question though. Real quick. When you made the switch over to the Mac, to the iPhone and all that other stuff, and I know Dominic did the same thing. How much did it cost you?
I mean,
generally speaking. But Dominic went crazy.
The Mac's going to run you $1,500 to $2,000 unless you want a desktop. Then you can get the new Mac Mini for about $800, and it's awesome, right? So your computer's always going to be not all, but 99% of the time for the same type of processing speed, storage, etc. You're going to be $500 to $1,000 more initial cost for a Mac. Everything else is the same. But okay. I tell people this: the Mac Mini. I still have a Mac Mini sitting over on my desk, over on the other side of my office. I use that Mac Mini was bought for my son in 2012, and we got him a gaming computer. I took that because my laptop was getting old. I took that to as my office computer. It was a Mac Mini. I upgraded the. All I did to it is put more memory in it, and I used that until 2021. Running 2 monitors, my entire office on that old ass fucking Mac Mini. And now I got a Mac Studio that I'll probably use for 10 years. So I don't know how often people upgrade, but I always hear stories about Windows computers last about 3 years. Mac computers last about 10. I have an iMac we bought in 2004 in the basement that still works. You can still play on the internet, send emails, research stuff, you know. You can't do high stuff with it, but it still works perfectly fine. Macs just in the long run are better. They're faster. You don't get I don't do a commercial for Mac, but you don't get viruses. You don't have to worry about any of that crap. It's a closed ecosystem and everything seamlessly integrates. My iPhone, my iPad, my Apple Watch, and my Mac computer all talk to one another and know everything at any time, anywhere. Anything else about the Chrome extensions, MaxAI, Cider, or Merlin? Okay, so that's it. Like the cool thing about these is, as I showed you, very easy use to interact with web pages, your email, help you write stuff without jumping from window to window. You can do it all right in there. All the stuff I showed you is available in TypingMind or ChatGPT or Claude, but you've got to go from window to window. This does it right there for you. Really quick. You don't have to type anything, respond with a joke, respond with a yes, respond with a no, and it's done. That's what makes this, it saves you time, especially if you're responding to a lot of emails. So that's MaxAI, that's all of those. So then we're going to go to Perplexity, which everybody seems to be using, and Perplexity is really good. It's imagine ChatGPT having access to searching the web. That's what Perplexity is. And it gives you access to all the large language models. So, you know, an expensive but not as intense version of TypingMind and ChatGPT, but they don't have the GPTs like we like to use, right? So anything you do within Perplexity will search the internet as well when you are doing a search. Give me a list of that. Give me a list of all the 2024 Oscar winners. ChatGPT can't get them because they don't have access to real time, but Perplexity can. That's what makes Perplexity good. And the reason I got Perplexity is I got it really cheap on that cheap, and you use the API within TypingMind as just another tool to help me become more productive. I haven't played around with it, but they have a thing called Spaces. I don't know exactly how it works. They have Discover, which is like stuff to this, what they think you should be looking at right now, right? And then their library of what I've done recently. This is all I've done so far. So, for example, this is what I told somebody the other day. When you're doing it, when you're sourcing and you're looking for a structural engineer, there are a lot of different titles. Ernie and I were talking about this for a plant manager. There are so many different titles that a company may say as a plant manager. So asking Perplexity specifically, because it has access to the internet real time, what are some alternative titles for whatever search you're working on? Then once they give you those, ask them to put them into a Boolean string, which they did for me. And let me see if see right here. So now I can take this Boolean string and drop it into something like Chatterworks, and it'll search all those titles for me all at the same time, right? So versus trying to okay, what are the titles? Well, maybe it's structural engineer, maybe it's civil engineer, maybe it's design engineer. This did it all for me, and now I can pop it right into there. So you could use this for any industry as an example of what to use Perplexity for, right? Because it has access to the internet.
And you can also put it into LinkedIn. You can put it into your own, like Loxo. And if it's too long, you could just tell it use the first five, the first five plant. Or first
if it's too long, like
titles.
sometimes Google will tell you that. So just kind of like, okay, we're gonna do the first five. We'll do that first, and we'll do the next five, right? So yeah, it can get taxing sometimes with too many of this or. But a lot of the tools that we use, like Chatterworks, Signal Hire, don't care. You can have as many titles as you want. And you can use this in Navigator as well. I just found this out. In the title section, you could actually put in Boolean into the title section in the Navigator.
And I would also add that if you use job in, they can do that as well as put it right away. The job titles, the alternative job titles.
Another kind of cool thing. This is turned into a page. So this is a way to, I just asked it to turn this into a page. So basically it took that and made me a little blog post about alternate titles. Right? And you can publish this, right? To Facebook or wherever you wanted. Like, so you can use Perplexity to make really neat posts to your blog, to LinkedIn, to wherever, and publish it right from there, right? You hit share and it pulls up the places that you copy the link, you post it into LinkedIn or whatever. So those are kind of the neat things that Perplexity does. There's also two really good Chrome extensions. Let me see if I can find them. Perplexity and Complexity. So Complexity just jumps you back to Perplexity. So when you're working, you don't have to go find it. You just click it and it takes you right back to it. And then Perplexity will open up anywhere. And while you're working on a web page, you could ask it something here about the web page you're doing. So if you're going to get Perplexity, download Complexity and Perplexity Chrome extension as well. And then you can have it focus on the web, on academic, on math, on social, on video, on writing when you're asking it something. And you can choose what model you want it to use as well. But again, you only get 2 Claudes, 3 GPTs, etc. Any questions about this?
Can I put a disclaimer out there too? I want to just say, if you're trying to keep up with what Tom's doing, don't worry about it. You always got the tape here, and you can come back and listen to it, and or pick up the phone and call him.
Yeah, don't call me. I'm always here for answers. So anything about any of this, please ask away. I kind of been jumping into this, and I seen some hands that went up, and I didn't get a chance to answer. So please feel free to ask anything, and I will answer as much as I can. Or not.
Some good stuff. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. This is the stuff I really like, right? Like I really like this stuff because it makes my life easier. Like what it's done for me to write job postings, right? To put those summaries together, right? This is stuff that has just saved me so much time. Like, for example, yesterday when I was working out at the barn, I was able to interview a candidate, ask all the questions that I would usually ask, that I would write down or type, when I was filling out my candidate data sheet, and then transfer it into very usable note summaries that I send to my client. I mean, that is, to me, that has saved me so much time, because otherwise, when she called and said, hey, I'm interested in that job, well, I got to call you back because I'm out here doing this, right? And maybe I get it'd take me forever to get a hold of her or whatever. It just saves me so much time. And that's what we're trying to do. This is not trying to replace a lot of the stuff that we do. It's trying to save you time to make you more productive so you can spend time doing the other things that's important.
And I would also add that with any of these tools, anything that you have, all of this starts by somebody asking, I wonder if, can it do this? Can it do that? And then you start exploring the different things. And on top of that, you start talking to all of these people that are in these groups and any other group that might exist out there in internet land, and you get some answers. But you got to ask the question, I wonder if I could create a resume out of this. I wonder if I could do this out of that. And that's what'll make you good at what you do and different.
A lot of it now, like it's more, I went to the doctor today. When I went to the doctor said basically, is it okay that we now use AI to do the note taking so I can focus on you? I'm not typing while we're talking. And he basically had to be the closed network because of HIPAA. But basically, they took notes. AI took notes while we did our visit. The doctor.
I thought you were going to break into the song. I put the lime in the coconut.
No. The thing that was hard was because like here where it's on tape, like you said, he had to take out the big tape player and hit the to go and record button at the same time while they were it was all on tape.
Yeah, good recruiters are going to want to refine what they do. It doesn't replace us, but it definitely makes you more productive, so you can make more profit at the end of the day. And it's all about refining and shortening tasks and making it easier. I'm all about that.
Continual learning.
Absolutely. Tom, you gave me some good pointers. I just use ChatGPT as it is right now. I'm going to start to try to use some of these other advanced methods. And so good stuff.
Thank you. If I can help, I mean, that's, it's done so much for me. It's done so much for me. I really love it. I do. I mean, it just has made life very much easier. Yeah. And also, we're at 141. So you guys okay with me stop the streaming so we can go to our secret meeting that only the good people get to watch? 1 second, Pummy. Or did you who raised your hand? Somebody raised their hand? No? Okay.
Steve
did. Can you wait, or do you need it now, Steve?
No, I can wait.
Okay.
Hey, Tom, did you know that Loxo released their beta for throttling back emails?
No.
I'm in it, testing it.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, guys, thanks, everyone, for coming today. That's it for today's Recruiter Roundtable. A big thank you to everybody that attends. Please like and subscribe and share the Roundtable everywhere you can. Thank you for being part of the Recruiter Roundtable. We really appreciate it. Check us out on YouTube at Palermo Roads. Plus, we're going to have a new YouTube called at The Recruiter Roundtable. We also have our LinkedIn, The Recruiter Roundtable, and a new website, www.therecruiterroundtable.com. Just remember, legal services are provided by the law office of Dewey, Screwham, and Howe. And for topics, suggestions, questions, and more, email us at comments@prsearchinc.com. Remember, this podcast may contain information that has been in confidential privilege are unsuitable for overly sensitive persons with no low self-esteem, no sense of humor, or irrational religious beliefs. You'll be happy to know that no animals were harmed in the making of this podcast, although the next door is living on borrowed time. Thanks again for being part of the Recruiter Roundtable. For Ernie Moreno and Kelly Nelson, I'm Tom Alacio, and we'll see you next time on the Recruiter Roundtable. Until then, smile and dial. So if anybody wants to see what Maricar was talking about, this is Recruit